First release, it's Enhypen. If you're not familiar with Enhypen, they're a 7-member boy group that debuted in 2020 under B-Lift Entertainment. That's they were in a partnership with Hybe, I believe. They're still under the Hybe umbrella, and it was a reality show. This EP is called Orange Blood. 7 songs, but 3 of those are the same song. So you have the title track, then you have the English version, and then you have a remix. So 7 songs, but like 4 new songs, or 5 new songs. I'm sorry. The single is called Sweet Venom. This is a different feel this time around. I don't know if it's just me or maybe Engines, if you agree or disagree, but this one feels a little bit different. It's more of like a happy disco beat with some funky bass. You're hearing that a lot. And this really reminded me of T by T's releases over this past year, 2023. Happy, upbeat disco. I thought maybe we'd get like a dark vampire theme again. That's just what I'm used to with these guys. It's kind of what I fell in love with. And Sweet Venom, I was like, ooh, here we go. It's completely different than what I was envisioning. That's not a good or bad thing. I was just like, oh, wow, yeah, this wasn't the sound I thought it was going to be. I don't think it's bad to switch things up from time to time. Give fans a different sound. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It can be a gamble or it can really pay off. I like the funky bass line. I mentioned that. I like the bass line. Vocally, I think Hyesung has the best moments. He stands out a lot for me. I will say though, it sounds like there are a lot of effects on their voices. So it was harder for me to distinguish on this track than the rest of the album. The rest of the album, I knew, okay, there's Jake, there's Nikki, you can pick out the vocalists if you listen to a group enough. And I've listened to Enhypen since debut. I've been reviewing them since they debuted. But on the title track, it was hard for me to distinguish who was singing at points. And I think that's because there are a lot of effects on this song. So I would maybe peel those back a little bit because it kind of takes the personality out of them. Selfishly, I do want to go back to like the given or taken sound. One of my favorite debuts ever. But this isn't bad. I don't think this is a bad song. I think it's just a little bit different. And it sounds a little bit younger. So that makes sense to me. These are young men. They're young guys. This isn't a group that's been in the game for 10 years. So they know their demographic and they know their fans' demographic, although clearly I'm not, still in high school or young. Clearly I'm not underage. They have a lot of fans who are all different ages, like most K-pop groups. I definitely want to make that clear. I'm not saying their fans are only young people, but I do think this sounds a little bit younger and maybe they're catering their sound to a younger fan base. Maybe that's the market where they're finding the most success and that's who they're targeting. It makes total sense. But I kind of got that feel with this song. I think my biggest kind of criticism, it's not bad. It just wasn't that exciting. And when I went back and I listened to it multiple times and I was really looking into it, I think something that really hurts this song is the length. It's only 2.5 minutes long. And it's really hard for a song to get going in 2.5 minutes. You have nowhere to go. Like, that's when the bridge is usually coming in. And then you get a couple more choruses and the big ending. Here, it all was just kind of like, because they didn't give themselves that time. I understand attention spans are short. I totally get all of this. But I think like you need to give them enough time to have the song go somewhere. So this wasn't my favorite Enhypen release. I'm excited to talk about the rest of the album though, because I do think there were some good songs on that one. I'm a little bit perplexed on why this was the single. There's some stuff I liked a little bit more, but let's talk about the music video first. Okay. I liked this music video. I did. It was interesting. I liked the color scheme, the cooler tones. A lot of frozen elements, right? Everything's frozen and the camera is kind of walking you through these frozen elements. Not the first time we've seen that in K-pop videos with things frozen and people moving around frozen objects. I still think it's cool. That hasn't gotten old to me. I like that. The styling, I think, is really interesting here. Michael Jackson. They have on short, tight pants with glittery Michael Jackson socks. We just saw Jungkook do Michael Jackson in his release. What I mean by that is dancing and also styling. So clearly, there's a theme happening here. I'm not mad at it, but I just think it's interesting. There's such a is fashion going to change? Are we going back to tight pants? We had so many skinny jeans in K-pop, and then everything's been massive recently. So, are we going to see Michael Jackson instead of baggy jeans? I don't know. And to be honest, I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know. I don't know. But the styling I thought was interesting because they're kind of going against trend, wearing tight pants with, loafers and Michael Jackson socks. I love the chorus choreography. It's simple, but it's really fun with that little like head movement. I like that. I think it's interesting and fun, but it's not so complicated that a lot of people couldn't do it on a dance challenge. And I know that's what part of the game is, whether I like it or not. That's part of the game in K-pop now. So I get it. I thought it was cool and simple and fun to watch. In the music video, the bridge was by far the most interesting. And I think also in the song. The bridge is really, really nice here. But in the music video, you get these like party pictures with lighting effects that feel relatable to somebody who's in college hanging out with their friends. And then you just get really fast, like picture montages. Again, I think this is skewed to a younger audience and it totally works. This video, though, it felt different than a lot of K-pop videos. And I think it's because there weren't as many sets, there weren't as many cuts. It was just like that street scene and then walking through those rooms, and that was it. Now we're back on the street scene. So in that regard, it felt a little cheaper than some of their epic music videos. And I think with like the CGI and the effects, it probably wasn't. But just from someone watching it with no concept of that stuff and how much it costs, it did feel different. I'm so used to like multiple sets. This is a different type of K-pop video. And I liked it better each time I watched it. I really did. We have to talk about the looks. I talked about the styling, but they look great. All 7 members looked so handsome. I loved the hair. I think these were great, great styling choices. Nikki looks fantastic. Jake stole a lot of focus. Jake, the camera really loves Jake, and he's such a performer. He's such a natural. Sung Hoon, always so handsome. Oh my god, that guy's so handsome. It's sick. It's disgusting. Too handsome. And then obviously Sung killed it with the purple hair, like the purple mullet thing with forehead showing. I just realized as I said that out loud how crazy that is. Like if I said, you know what hairstyle I love on a guy? Just like parted in the middle like this with forehead showing and then a mullet and then dye it dark purple. I don't know if I would love that hairstyle on a normal, on a local. But you do that on a handsome K-pop boy, and I'm like, this is the look, this is the style. Yes, I'm in love. I loved it. I think it's really nice. It totally works. He's an amazing performer, and I love the part in the music video where he kind of does like the foot shuffle into center. Great, great. I'm here for it. So the song was kind of a mixed bag for me. I did like the music video. I think it's different. Different doesn't mean bad. It's just something that felt different than watching everything else. I listened to and watch so much K-pop. So maybe it's a good thing. Then I'm like, well, this one's different. There aren't as many sets. I want to talk about the rest of this EP though, because they gave us some really nice stuff. Of the rest of the songs, I want to talk about Still Monster, Blind, and Orange Flower. Okay, on Still Monster, Sung's opening vocals, they're so clear. I love the clarity of his voice, what he brings to that. And you'll hear me talk a lot about the opening line in songs or about how it starts off because you're setting the tone, right? So if you come in with something interesting or really great, that just elevates the song to me. That just grabs me. Where if it's just kind of mid, it's just like, all right, whatever. I love how he starts this one. It grabbed me. This is like a mid-tempo heartbreak track. I like kind of the guitar strumming and the simple bass line. The melody is really pretty and they perform it well. I really, really liked this one. Blind. This is a really good song. Their voices can be heard more clearly, the individual voices, as compared to the single. I think this one's more interesting, and I loved that I could tell who was singing. Great chorus, nice groove in the verses, and that drum build in the pre chorus, great. Nice touch. Very, very good. This kind of reminded me of like the Enhypen I'm used to and that I love. I really, really liked this. I need to talk about Orange Flower. I really need to talk about this song. If they want a kind of lighter, happier sound for Enhypen, why not make Orange Flower the single? I love this song. I love it. The bass drives the song. It's poppy. It feels familiar. We talked about that in the last fandom face off. Alyssa mentioned like T by T. She got into them because it kind of sounded like stuff she already liked. And then when Lamar was judging, he mentioned the same thing. Like sometimes it's a good thing to have songs that sound a little bit familiar. Orange Flower sounds familiar to me. Jake serves some nice breathy vocals there. Ooh, yes, Jake. This is like that driving with the top down type of song. It's happy and carefree. And for me personally, it really sounded and kind of gave Post Malone's Circles vibes. If you know that song, listen to them back to back. Very similar. I would have made Orange Flower the single. I think this is the song on the album. Biases, Time Talk biases. In case it's not clear, my bias in this group is Heesung. He's been my bias since debut. He grabbed my attention and has never let go. I think he's such a star. Wrecker goes all over the place, but Sunghoon's my wrecker. He's like what a K-pop idol should be. You know, he's really kind of the total package. Let's get to my rankings of the 7 songs from Enhypen's Orange Blood EP. Number 7, Sweet Venom featuring Bella Porch. I think that was completely the wrong feature. Number 6, Sweet Venom, the English version. Number 5, Mortal. That's just the opening track, kind of the narration. Number 4, Sweet Venom, the title track. Number 3, Blind. Number 2, Still Monster. And my number 1 song from this Enhypen comeback, it's Orange Flower. Orange Flower is my favorite song. I wish this would have been the single. Sweet Venom is okay. Orange Flower is great. And yeah, that feature with Bella Porch, you guys, I don't know. People make mistakes and everybody, grows and evolves. I don't know that person personally. I have no wish her no ill will. But again, for a Korean group to feature someone that had a tattoo of the Japanese rising sun, that's to me something I don't think you can get past. Whether you knew or not, that's a big enough mistake that shouldn't be featured on a Korean group's album. So I'm not cool with that. That just doesn't work for me. It just rubs me the wrong way. It feels they didn't need to do that. And like Meg and I talked about, I kind of hate when they'll say it's 7 songs, but you have 3 songs that are the same. You don't need an English version on every single album or, feature version. Just release the single. If it's a strong title track, it should do numbers anyway. So that was a pretty big misstep. This is an interesting comeback for them because I think there's some good songs here. The title track was a mixed bag for me, and the feature was a massive mistake. Interested to see how this does. I'm sure the fans will still buy it and it will still do numbers. And Hypen's really, really popular. They don't get pushed a lot. In my opinion, Enhypen doesn't get pushed enough from Hype. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. This is from an outsider's perspective because I want to make it clear I like Enhypen a lot. I'm not like a diehard engine. I like them. I've been reviewing them since they came out. So I watch them and I root for them because they also they're easy to root for. But I don't think Hybe puts the money behind them like they do for T by T or obviously 17 or the girl groups. It's weird because when I see popularity when I see passionate fans in person, not numbers on the chart or people fighting on Twitter. When you actually go to concerts or you talk to K-pop fans, which I do quite a bit, and Hypen fans, engines are really passionate and they're really showing up. So it's weird to me that they're not being pushed more. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes? I don't. But yeah, and Hypen's really popular. I know their fans are going to show up for this project. And I'm sure the fans liked this project. So it's exciting to see your favorite group do something new. The song's good. It's just not my favorite thing they've done. And I am like a fan who likes a lot of their stuff. So mixed bag for me. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. Good project. And I'm kind of digging the tight pants with the Michael Jackson socks. This going to be the trend going into 2024? I'll take it. I'm not mad at it. Congratulations, Enhypen. Enhypen continues to work their butts off and put out interesting stuff, different stuff. I like that they stay with the theme. They have a storyline. They have a whole lore. I just don't think the title track kind of sounded like it, if that makes sense. But they still had that theme throughout the album. And it's nice to kind of have storylines still in K-pop because that's what got me into K-pop. That's what made me think this was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen and heard when I realized there was this through line going through BTS's album. So I like that. I like a lot of it, but Orange Blood should have been the title track. I will fight for that song. That was such a good song. Congratulations, Enhypen. I'm a fan, and I'm sure engines are happy. Can't wait to speak to an engine during Fandom Face Off here in a few weeks.